Okay, so we're just going to be reviewing the content today. During the content training, I may be moving back and forth between the front end and back end a little bit. So if you get confused with me kind of going between the two, just let me know and I can slow down a little bit. We're just going to be learning how to update this menu, this main menu bar up here, how to update any information that comes across your hero image. We're also going to learn how to update any of these items. So your front page is actually made up of widgets. We do that because it allows the website to be responsive. So that's that whole, you know, if you're on a cell phone and it's smaller, you still have all those capabilities. As well as how we're going to do these announcements. We're going to go over the social media menu bar. We're also going to look at how to update the member landing page as well. Okay, so to start off, for us to create one of these pages that we would go into, we would need to create an article. So this is called an article, and then after we create the article, we link it to the main menu bar up at the top. So creating an article first, I just go to website and articles, and this brings us to all of the articles that have been created in your site. You can search these articles right up here by their title. You can also delete them, or if you want to keep them but just don't want to have them published, you can just unpublish them, and that'll take them away from being visible. And I just did that by double-clicking on the published or unpublished. To create a new article, I'm just going to hit New. We're going to create a title for the article. And then this is going to automatically populate an alias. An alias, and you'll see this when we do the forms training as well, is the same thing as like kind of saying URL in a way. So if you wanted to come directly to this page, we would just put the word test, which is the alias, right behind this / instead of this information here. And it'll take you directly to the page. So you'll see as we navigate to pages, like we're at SCLA.memberclicks.net committees. So that would be committees would be the alias for that. Then we're able to begin creating the body of our article. So most of the things that you see up here are going to be similar to Word. Some of the things you won't even use, but just to go over a couple of items. If we place test information, whoops, we can obviously bold this, we can italicize it and underline it. We also have the choice to decide where we want our text to begin, how we want it formatted. One of the things that I absolutely love about these formatted text or formatted fonts, right now, like we can use heading 1 and it's automatically going to give us this font type. What's great about this is if you ever decide to change the colors of your website, you can call into the help team and they can let the designers know. They'll update this color and then it'll update anywhere that you've used this font type or formatted font type in the website. So you don't have to go back and update everything manually. It just does it for you. So we always suggest using these instead of creating your own and getting too crazy with it.
Okay, so basically the CSS or the global settings are on their end.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. We also have the opportunity to create different or use different fonts and font size. But kind of like I mentioned before, I think it's always best to use any of these headings up through here, just because they're a little bit more consistent and can be updated all at once. A couple of things that we can do that maybe might be a little different is inserting images, inserting internal links, and inserting external links. So to begin with inserting an image, we would just want to place our cursor wherever we want the image to be. And then I would come to my image button down here at the bottom. This is how I'm going to grab images from our media manager. And this is going to pull up a version of our mini media manager, which is a tongue twister. And then we have some different images that have been saved in here for you guys. If I wanted to use your logo, I can just come in here. I think I'm going to grab one that's got solid color behind it, though. This one.
Where did you? I'm sorry. Can you X out that? Show me where you did it again.
Yeah, of course. So I just went to image down here at the bottom.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I know. I'm trying to follow along with you on my end, because otherwise I'll never remember it. I have to do it. And
Absolutely.
I'm like, no, I can't find it. Gotcha.
No.
Good.
Cool. All right. So yeah. So I just come to image down here, and then this. So this is the mini media manager, and so I'm going to show you where your full size media manager is in a minute, where we can save all of these things that we can access through here. So I just grabbed one of these images. And generally we don't do anything with this stuff down here. It's just not necessary. I'm just going to insert this image. Now there's a couple of different ways that we can resize this image and do some other cool stuff. We can just highlight it, change the corners, grab the corners. We can also highlight it and we can choose this little tree icon. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I pushed instead of the other thing.
Gotcha.
It doesn't look the same.
You were close. You were almost there. So this is going to allow us to format that image. So I can go to Appearance, and I love this because it's going to give us a little kind of like what it's going to look like. So we can go to Alignment. This is just going to be how the text aligns with the image. I always like this left one because it just wraps around the image. But you can do a couple of different. You can just have it start at the bottom. You can start at the baseline, which is also at the bottom. But I always like doing the left. You can change the dimensions. So I can change this to 100. Now, if I constrain proportions, it's going to keep the proportions of my image. So it's not going to distort it. So it knew that if it's 100, the width of it needs to be 105. Now, if I don't constrain proportions, I can put in the exact measurements that I want, but that means that it's going to distort the image because it's trying to fit it into whatever size I gave it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. If you do it the other way, you have to do math.
Yes, exactly. This does the math for you.
Which I have had to do in the past. I was somewhere and they didn't have the constraint first. I don't remember. It was a while ago. And I was like, doing the ratios in my head, trying to figure out what.
No.
Yeah, we're not going to.
Crazy. No doing that. Exactly. So yeah.
I remember my middle school math there, proportions. Yeah. I got it. Just took me a minute.
I'm not even sure I'd be able to. It would take me some time for sure.
Yeah.
This vertical and horizontal space is the only other thing that I really like to use, and this is just going to create a cushion between the image and the text so it's not bumping right up to it.
Yeah.
So I can just type in 10 and you'll see it gave us a bottom cushion. And there we go. We can update that. So now my image is smaller. We've got that cushion between the image and the text. And so we just did that by clicking that little tree. Some other things that I can point out, you can also change the color of the text, change the background of the text if you want to. But those are kind of things that you probably won't be doing a whole lot of.
It's hideous.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I mean, you want to be able to do it if you need to.
Exactly. So two of the other really important things I think you'll be using a lot is going to be, like I mentioned, the external and internal links. So if I wanted to add a external link, I would do that by just typing, highlighting, and then for an external link, I'm going to use this little link right up here. I'll click it, and then I can put in whatever kind of link I want to put in there. I can put in Google. And then I would just do insert. If I wanted to do an internal link, and I think you'll be using these a lot, I love these internal links. You do this similar thing, you type, you highlight, and instead of using this one, we're going to come to the bottom and hit the site links at the bottom. And this is going to bring us to another kind of version of our Media Manager, but in this case, we can access all files. We can also access any articles, any other articles in your article manager. We can go to different menu items and link them directly to a separate menu item. We can link directly to forms once those have been created. If we create a directory search, we can link to that, any files. So this goes back to any of those files that we saw a minute ago, any events, and then I don't think you'll have any polls, but if you do one day, we can link to those as well. So I can just link to whichever. I also have the option here that sometimes I think can be helpful to open this up in a new page. I always think that's good if you're linking to one of your forms, so that way they can navigate between your website and the form they're taking.
Yeah.
So we can insert that link.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? I think that's about it. From here, you're going to see this exact thing in a lot of different places. We call it our WYSIWYG editor, which stands for what you see is what you get, which just means that generally what you're seeing right here is exactly the way it's going to look on the front end of the site, which we really love because it makes it easy building content and stuff like that. But you'll see this in our contact center when we start creating events in your calendar, just kind of all over. So from here, we're going to want to choose our group access. So we can actually decide if we only want members to see this, which members we want to see it, or if everybody can see it. So I can toggle on everybody, or we can leave off public and prospects if this is kind of like member exclusive information. From here, I have two options. I can either choose save or apply. If I choose save, it's going to save this and take me back to the main article manager. If I hit apply, it'll apply this change, but it'll keep me on this page. I always like that because if I'm kind of watching my changes and how they're affecting the front end, I can kind of just stay on this page, look at the front end, update it, and then come directly back here to make any additional updates I need to make. So I'm just going to save right now. So we've created an article, and you'll see it here. It shows the date, who created it, and it'll also show you how many hits you have, which I think is pretty cool. The next step in creating this menu item is actually adding it to the menu item. So we went to articles first. Now we're going to go to menu items. We have three different types of menus. We have our main menu, which is this bar right up here at the top. We have our social network menu, which is this area down here. And lastly, we have our member menu, which is going to be on the member landing page. And let me see if I can show that to you really quickly. If I log in as you, I think you should be all, there we go. So the member menu is this one here. So right now we're just going to practice adding this to, yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. We're just going to add this to the main menu, which I said is right up here. So I'm going to choose this main menu, and I have to click this little menu looking kind of thing. If I choose any of these, it won't work for whatever reason. So we're going to select right here. And then these are all of our menu items, and it shows you the way they're set up from on your menu. So what I want to do is add this test menu to one of these items. So in order to do that, I'm just going to come over here and hit new. This can get a little confusing as well because now we're choosing what we're wanting to add to the main menu. That's what this is asking me is, okay, you're creating this, this menu item. What do you want linked to it? What kind of menu item is this going to be? The main ones that you're going to be using are single articles, which is what we just created, an article. However, you can also link these menu items directly to forms. I don't have any forms built, but there would be a drop-down with your forms listed. You can link it up directly to your event calendar if you want to do that. And then I'm trying to think if there's any others, I think. And then you also can link something up to an external link. So in that case, you'd be creating a menu item that somebody would click, and then once they click it, it's going to directly take them to whatever external link that you wanted to include. Sometimes this one's used especially if you guys are in association with a lot of other associations, or if you have like a national or something like that.
Yeah.
In this case, we're just going to do this single article. We'll create our title, which I always like to make the same as what I named the article, just because it keeps things kind of straight. There's our alias again, and now I can choose where I want this test to fall under. So if I wanted to show up after events in the main menu as a separate tab altogether, I'm just going to leave this top highlighted. However, if I want it to be a submenu, I would just highlight what I want it to be a submenu of. We can also do a tertiary menu by choosing history of the association, and now it would be a tertiary menu item about SCLA. So I'm going to do, let's put it under home. We can also have this open up under a new window, or it can just open up in the same window, whichever you prefer. The last thing I need to do is select my article, which is test. All of our articles that we've created are going to show up right under here. And then I have to once again select my group access. This group access is going to take precedence over the article just because you won't even be able to see it in the menu if you don't, set this. So this one's always important. And I'm going to save. Now I can come back to I'm going to just come back over here, and if I go, let's refresh. And there my test one is. We can click on it, and we've got these different items that we created. And we can go directly to our internal link. All right. Do you have any questions on how to create articles and how to link them to a menu?
One thing we did at one point was for our conference, we had a separate menu that just showed up on the conference pages with all the conference information, like as a kind of mini internal website, if that makes sense. Is that something you can do here? And we may not do it that way in the future, but like we had menus that only showed up on certain pages.
Let's take which would be an example.
If you go up to the top at our conference, or the places we'll go, click and see, now I've got a cute little conference menu that only shows up on the conference pages because it's such a complex set of needs. Like you can't fit everything about the conference on one page.
Gotcha.
So we're gonna have to
Well, yeah, we can think about it, but also what I'm thinking is, and I totally forgot to mention this, and I want to mention it to you anyways because it's my favorite part, so I can't believe I skipped over it. I don't know if we could create something like up here that would be just for like a conference menu, but we could create like this home page for conference as being the main menu, and we can create, let me go back to my articles, into this test. We can create buttons. So we could create like a page of buttons. So in order to create a button, what we would do, I'm just going to get rid of all this. We could say like conference information. But what I'm going to do is highlight it. Would this work? I could create, yeah, I think this would work really well. I could, anytime you link text and use heading 6, so I'm going to do heading 6, I'm going to link it. So let's say that there's an additional page just about specific conference information. We can grab an article. I mean, in this case, it really doesn't matter which one. There's a lot. Yeah, it doesn't really.
Yeah, I mean, there's somewhere in there's probably the conference info, but
it creates this button.
Oh, isn't that cute?
I know. I think it's the cutest thing ever. So we can create.
Can you save it
so
I can see what it looks like on the reel?
I've got too many. And then you would just be able to click the button, and it would take you to whatever page you wanted to link them to. And so we don't necessarily have to have all these pages on this main menu. We can just have them under this conference tab. So like, the places we'll go, we could have a couple of buttons that we can create under here, and it could say for this kind of information, for this kind of information. And if you click it, it could take them to different pages. Do you think that'd be a good solution?
I think so. I'll play around with it.
Okay.
I'm sure there's a way.
So yeah, we can just create additional by doing the same thing, like additional information. Whoa, and then we would just do the same thing. I would just highlight, use my heading 6, use my internal site links button, which is at the bottom, grab one of these, insert the link, and then we have another one.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I just need some way to, Like, nobody needs that on every page, but we do need a way to have multiple pages sort of linked together.
Okay.
Yeah, that might work.
Absolutely. All right.
We've got
cool.
a year to look at it. Not really, but.
And we can also, we need to update this as well. So you can also put like a couple of buttons down here for conference information as well. So just a couple of different ideas for us. The next thing that I wanted to look at is that media manager that we saw a couple times and how we're going to get information in the media manager that we can access throughout the site. So to do that, I'm just going to come into website and go to media manager. And here we are. So these are all the things that are saved in the site at this time. We have all of these different image files that our designers created for us just to help keep things kind of, I think, probably organized a little bit for us. So you would just decide where you would want the information to go into. So if it's a document, we can just come down here into documents. You can create new folders. There can't be any spaces or anything like that in folders. It has to be like continual words. But we can create a new folder if you have, like, these are all conference forms. Then we would have another box that would look like this that would pop up. We could click into that box, and then in order to put information, we would just say upload. This is going to take us to, whatever we have saved in our computer. We would just grab one of these files, open. It's going to pop up like a little some funky text in here. We're going to hit upload, and then it's just going to upload in whatever folder that you've selected. So I think it's a pretty basic, pretty basic like media manager. We don't want to mess with the hero image or your logo. We always want to leave these right where they are because these are communicating with the front end of your site. We also don't really want to mess with these. So it looks like we've got 3 stock images in here. So you can update your home page image whenever you would like using one of these images. But you can also contact us and we can do it for you too. Does that make sense how to use our media manager?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We also discussed about widgets. And how your front page is comprised of widgets. So in order to update those, we would just come under Website, Widgets. And some of these are going to start to make sense. So we have our home page main. That's going to be this information. If we go home, it's going to be this body of text here. So we're not going to update this through an article. We're going to update it by going to Widgets and then home page main. We have home page left.
Yeah, I was wondering where the main
pages.
Main page stuff was, so that's good.
Yeah, we can also update that left and right column that we saw on the home page. So that's going to be left and right. And these are those fun buttons that I showed you how to create. That's all those are. We have our member landing my name is page. So that's going to be this name tag here. We can update the colors. We can update this lapel back here if you don't like this option. I can send some options to you if you want to look through some other things. Would you want me to do that?
Yeah. I'm not all that crazy about this.
Yeah, I totally agree. Most people, plus like usually it's not super businessy anyways. So yeah, I'll definitely send you our other options that you can use. And then right now it just has some like basic text, but what we need to do is use our merge data tool. And you'll notice this is another WYSIWYG editor. So just like what we used when we were doing the articles. I'm going to merge data. So this is going to merge the data from your member's profile. And I can say first name. Actually, I can just do contact name, and I think that'd be easier. We're going to merge.
The contact name is first name and last name.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
This would be the organization, so I can just come to merge data, and I'm going to choose whatever organization they have in their profile. And then this shows their membership type. Oops. So if you can change this and update it to whatever you want. But this would show them their member type. So this is what they'd be greeted with on that member landing page. Okay. Featured content is going to be the content across the hero image. So that's this information up here. It's kind of hard to read right now, so we might want to change the text color, which we can do. trying to think what might be a little bit easier. And then we can also change this button. It looks like a regular button on the front end. It is going to show up with that white border and the white text inside instead of like this, just because it's kind of the look.
Yeah.
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 We've got the footer info, so that's just going to be the information all the way down here at the bottom. So if your address ever changes, you'll want to update this footer information. We also have the custom login page lower half and top half. This part's a little confusing. If I come over here, so right now you just have this member log out, member login section, and of course the search our site. If I choose or click member login, it's going to show up with this page. That upper and lower information is going to be if you want to put any information above here. So usually people leave it alone, but if you have like a disclaimer or you want to advertise an event coming up, you can throw that here or you can throw it below.
Okay.
And then we just have announcements and our tweets. So announcements is going to be this area here. And I don't think we can do anything with our tweets. So this is just the widget, or this is more of like what we would call a module, which means you can't edit it, but this is what's allowing that to show up on that right-hand side. So we wouldn't do anything with that. But that's just what is allowing these to show up here, which I love this. So when you get ready to start updating information on your home page, make sure you're coming to website and then widgets, and then you'll find all of those pieces that make up that home page there. Okay. Does everything make sense with that?
I think so.
Okay.
Until awesome. I delete something accidentally and I go, help.
And that's totally okay if you do, because anytime you delete something, you're going to notice there's this view trash button. Nothing is ever like completely deleted unless you go to the trash, select the items, and say delete forever.
Nah, we'll just leave it all there.
Yeah,
we don't have
exactly.
enough. We're not, we don't have gigabytes of data. Like our stuff's so little, we can just leave it there forever, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And then you would just there would be a checkbox just like what you see here next to it. You would check it, and then you would hit restore, and it would pop right back up for you.
Perfect.
So yeah, you can't mess up. You can't you can't do it.
Say that.
That really covers everything as far as creating articles. There's one other thing that's like my favorite thing to do, and that is creating calendar events. I don't know why I think it's so much fun, but I do. So do you have an event coming up that we can go ahead and add as an example?
Yeah, you can put the conference in.
Okay, awesome. So coming under community and then calendar, it's going to bring up this area for me. There are 3 different menu items. I'm going to start backwards because eventually they all kind of come together. So the first thing I want to do is add a location. Now these locations are saved in here kind of generically, like you can use them for any event. So you don't want to put any event specific information when you're creating this this location because you may want to link it up to an event later on. So to do this, I'm just going to select new. Do you have the address or name of the location?
It is
yeah.
It's called officially the Columbia Marriott.
Columbian Marriott. Columbia.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have an address?
I do. 1200 Hampton Street.
Awesome. Hampton Street. City?
Columbia. SC. Yep, BIA. And then SC. USA.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. There we go.
292. Yeah, that's
weird.
Not it.
29201.
I
think it's pulling in some information I've put in the past on somebody else's. Do you have a telephone number?
That's a really good question. 803-771.
hold on one second. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
803-771.
771. I lost it. 7,000.
Cool. And then what I can do is add their website URL. So I hopefully can just.
I don't remember what.
Columbia Marriott. This looks like it's it, maybe?
That's it.
Cool. So I would just grab the
Perfectly.
URL.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, they do us well. We have our conference there. This is our 3rd year in a row with it. Like, we did a 3-year contract with them.
That's awesome.
And
it looks so
we
nice.
Keep doing it there, except, you know, it's fair to have it in other places once in a while.
Yeah.
But
nice.
We've had it at places that have not been so good.
Gotcha. Okay, so then in order to make this little Google Map function work, we always have to click Find Address. If we don't, it's going to keep you right in Atlanta where we are. And you don't want all your members coming all the way out here. So we would just do Find Address, and it's brought us back in South Carolina. We've got another area for our description, so we could just type in, welcome to the Columbia Marriott. Marriott, if I can spell Marriott, there we go. But obviously you can put whatever information in here that you would want to do. Did I spell it wrong?
It's got 2 T's. I only know this because I've had to type it 100 times now.
Perfect. There we go. Look at that.
and I love it that spell check knows.
I know. I loved that too. That was perfect. And you can use this just like you used our other WYSIWYG editor. You can add in internal site links, external site links, images, the whole same thing. So now this is our location. I'm going to save it. The next piece is going to be manage categories. So we can have different categories. Basically, this is just going to color code our calendar for us, which I think is super fun. Yeah. So right now you have events. To add a new, I'm just going to go to new. I'm going to call this conferences. We can choose a color. I'm going to choose maybe your orange color. Does that look nice?
Actually, you can't do orange in this city because Clemson's orange and USC is red. So you have to choose neither for our events.
Perfect. That we can
I don't
do
really,
that.
But it really does. Like, sometimes we get chided.
That is so funny.
We just use neutral colors.
There we go. I like that. Nobody can get upset. You're not for one team or the other. Cool. So I've just got this color in here. I'm going to save this, and it's going to create a new category. So now, and then I also need to publish this just by double-clicking on it.
You're just doing all our work for us. This is great.
I don't know why, but I love creating these events. I can do this all day for people. I just think it's so much fun.
And we keep trying to get, like, the problem with the event calendar, and we tried to use a Google Calendar, I think, at one point or another, is we're happy to help sponsor, help promote other people's events. We have some, but we're also happy to help promote trainings that happen in other places. And if nobody ever remembers, it's hard. It's hard. The people part is hard of
get
getting
the people involved.
Yeah, but we're going to try again.
Maybe. I mean, one of the huge things is since this has that social community feature we're going to get to, it's like, that's where we're hoping that there's more, it's going to want people to come back to the site more often because they're going to want to check in and see if they have any messages or if they have any new connections and that kind of thing. So that's where you kind of can hope that there's more traffic coming through. To create the event, we're just now going to go to Manage Events. We're going to select New, and now we get to actually create the event. So the event title would be, I know it's a conference. Do you have a title for it?
I lost the page. Hold on. 2016 SCLA Conference will be fine.
Okay. And you can always come in here and edit this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to choose my category of conferences, which I set up, and that's going to let it know what color we want it to be. Do you have a time that you want this to be? What date does this start? I should ask that first.
Yeah, it is the November 11th.
Okay. Starts at?
really good question.
We can leave it at 8.
I'm on the page. Give me a sec.
Okay.
Schedule. 8. So that's great.
Perfect. And then you said through
the 11th, through the Friday, and it's actually at noon. So.
Okay. Whoops, not 13. Okay. Something else that you can do in here is have this repeat. So we can decide if we want to have it repeat weekly, monthly, or yearly. Something that I love is it's so specific. So if you have some event that happens the first Tuesday of every month, we can choose monthly, and we can choose first week of every month, not the second, third, fourth, or fifth, and we would choose, like Tuesday. And then that's going to allow the event to be placed on the calendar the first Tuesday of every month. I think that's really a cool feature. Once again, we have our WYSIWYG editor to add in our event description. So we can just say this is the 2016 conference. We would select a location, which we've already created. And then we can put in additional contact information here if we want to. So that's our event. I'm just going to save this. I think there's one thing I need to do, which is these permissions. I always forget this step. Coming in here, we're just going to select this button, and it's going to allow who you want to see this event. So let's say you have one that's only for members. We would just uncheck prospect in public. We're going to save those permissions.
Give me 1 second, okay?
Okay, you're fine.
Yeah. Janelle's here. If Janelle's here, she should be able to tell you. Yeah, it all depends on what we'll have to look. But sorry about that.
You're fine.
Okay, I'm back.
Cool. So now we can go to the front page. We've got a little button to our view full calendar here. And now if we go to November, we'll notice it's going to pop up on our calendar. We can hover over it, and it lets us get a closer look at exactly what's going on. If we click into it, it's going to take us to all of these items. So
why does it only show 1 day? Did we just not?
Oh, I thought you said through the 11th. I'm sorry.
Oh, I did. I didn't see it on the other 2 days.
What day does it start?
Oh, the 9th.
Oh, the 9th. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. No, that's fine. If it's just if it was just wrong, I was like, wait, I want to show all 3 days.
Weird.
No, we're good.
So now we're going to go back to view month. There we go. So now it's on all 3 days. Yeah.
So the first day of a 3-day event. That's interesting.
What?
A little note, like if you hover over the first day.
Oh my gosh, I've never noticed that.
Isn't that cute?
I love this thing. I'm telling you, I wish I could do this. I wish I had one of these I could just use for my, color code. I mean, I guess I technically can, but this is cuter to me. I don't know why. So then we can click in here, and then one thing that I love is if you see view additional information, it'll take you to the website.
Cool.
Which I think is super cool. Obviously, we can add in more information, but this just shows you where some of the information that I put in went. And then we can download this on your iCalendar. You can also get it on your Gmail calendar. There's a couple of steps. So if you decide that you want to do that, just let us know and we'll do it for you because it's lots of steps.
I don't know that members care enough. For that, honestly, I don't know that they're.
Yeah.
But that's hard to tell.
Gotcha. But that's our little. That's our little calendar. Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun.
If you go back to the place, the locations tab, and go to Marriott and click on it, and go to the Google map. If you zoom in, will it stick? Will the zoom stick? Yeah, like if you put it here. Because people can get to Columbia. What they can't do is figure out where it is downtown.
Absolutely. I've never had somebody ask me that.
I'm just curious. And it may not. It doesn't look like it.
I think I would have to zoom in on this one.
That page, which is fine. I was just curious.
Gotcha.
Not a big deal. It'd be fun if it did, but
yeah, it would be.
Not a big deal. Okay.
All right. Well, technically, that covers everything that I go over, and we got through that pretty quickly. Do you have any questions on anything that we did or looked at?
No, I think I'm just gonna have to go in there and do some, kind of. I think most of the pages have at least that we need have the fake text there. So I think a lot of it's a matter of just filling in the real words and the real text. Go here. Let me just look at the page real quick before we get you up. Okay, I was basically looking at our committees and our interest groups, and under About SCLA, and just seeing how those ended up being created. They're currently just, like if you go to committees, we didn't do that tertiary menu list, which is fine. I think that's fine. So say the Archives and History Committee, which I don't think actually exists at the moment. When you click on it, its link is Archives and History Committee. It doesn't say, it won't say scla.org/interest group /Archives and History. It just has Archives and History. That's fine. I'm just seeing what the
you can update the alias. So like if you want this to read something different, all we would have to do is you would just have to update the alias. So you could add in whatever words you would want to add in right before, like right in that alias area. You would just add in the words, but make sure you use these dashes between because it won't read spaces.
Right. And I don't think so. I think I'd rather keep it this way. I don't think it's how we had it in the past.
Gotcha. Do you want us to create that tertiary menu?
No. I think this is simpler. It's just a matter of making sure all the pieces are there. So look under
Go ahead.
I don't remember how we did it anymore. Go up to the menu and go to join About SCLA, I think. See where it says Archives and History in the menu? That shouldn't be there. That's actually a committee, not an interest group. So that needs to go away from the menu. So is that, how do we, that just shouldn't be, it shouldn't be in that list. Okay. It's just one of the committees. So,
do you want this to link to a committee page?
Yeah, go to the committee page. There is a committee page.
Oh, in here or on your current site?
No, on the new site. So About SCLA.
Hold on, my calendar's yelling at me. Okay, About SCLA.
See the committees where it says committees? Click on that. It should only be here.
We doubled up a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine. I just happened to notice it. So I was trying to figure out how you undo that. It's a good...
We can either go into our article. Well, we can go to the main menu, go into this menu, find that it's called Archives and... Which one was it called under About SCLA that we don't need?
Archives and History.
So we can either just unpublish it, in case you might want to just make that into something else one day. We can delete it altogether. But then now if we go to...
Either one. I just don't want it there. So
perfect. So now it's gone, right? Does that look better?
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, so we can just unpublish it. You can also delete it if you decide like you just don't even want it in that area at all, and we can do it that way. But yeah, so now it's removed from the menu. Okay. Anything else?
Nope. No, and that's good. The more we can do on our own, the better. Not that we don't like contact you, but.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely getting your hands dirty in there I think is definitely one of the best ways to learn. At least for me, I know it is. So for sure. Well, do you want to go ahead and schedule our third meeting, or do you need to get with some people on your side?
Let's see what